Welcome to Bible study. I don't know if I'm hot or if I'm cold. And y'all, first of all, excuse my voice. Just quick disclaimer. The devil think he doing something, but quite frankly, he ain't doing enough. One thing about it is it's not going to stop the show at all, okay? Like, God has called me to use my voice, and that is what I will do. And it don't matter if I go completely mute. I'm going to still speak. I'm going to find a way. So, right now, my voice is a little bit raspy, but I think it gives me character. So, here I am. Here we are. And I'm excited that you made it in today. And we are going to be doing Bible study on John 6:63 through 71. I've been on this journey of discovery when it pertains to the people that should be around me. And my whole life has really been this. And I feel like a lot of people can relate. You're constantly trying to figure out, well, who is against me? Who is with me? Who's for me? Especially when you come from traumatic backgrounds and you don't really know how to vet people correctly because you're vetting them based upon what you've experienced and not based upon what you've healed from. And most of the time, we're so used to just running to the next situation or just going to the next place and just disassociating from the trauma, from the thing that we went through, that we just move forward, but we never actually heal from it. So the remnants of what was left with you when you detached from the situation still shows up with you in your new situation. It shows up with you at the new job. It shows up with you in your new relationship. It shows up with you in the new friendship as triggers and things start to happen, right? So I've been in a place where I'm like, okay, what's been happening? Like, let me reflect. Let me really dissect what is taking place. Anyone who is on a healing journey or will go on a healing journey knows that reflecting is a major part of healing. It's necessary in order to heal because you have to see not only the part that you played, but what you accepted within the situation as well. The more that you reflect and not reminisce, like reflection is way different from reminiscing. Reminiscing is like you're missing that person, and you can miss that person and still reflect. But reminiscing is like you're sitting in that and you're like, oh, I wish it could have been, or this, that, and the third, and you're not reflecting on what led up to that, or what could have made that better, or what you need to apply for the next thing. Like, reminiscing and reflecting are two different. Reminiscing keeps you there, while reflection helps you do something different. Last year was the first time that I ever experienced witchcraft when it pertains to eating what people cooked for me. I had heard of it and seen little stories about it, but I didn't think it could happen to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't like, oh, somebody about to try to do witchcraft on me through no food. Like, I wasn't just looking out for that. I knew not to eat from everybody, and I didn't, but the person that I did let in and begin to trust, like, they would cook and I would eat their food. And sometimes when I would go over their house, like, the food was already cooked, but I'm like, we cool, it's nothing like that, so I don't have to stress about the food or nothing of that nature. And one day they had actually made a joke and was like, oh, did the voodoo work? And so I was like, that don't work on me. And I brushed it off because I'm like, this person be playing all the time, so, whatever, which was a mistake. Like, you need to be listening to what come out of people's mouth because they don't be playing. It do not be a joke, babe. You need to pay attention to the energy. You need to pay attention to everything because it do not be a joke at all. They be dead for real. So I brushed it off. And then I would find, like, they would set situations up to where, like, they would text me or they would say something. I would respond back when I got the time. And then when I would respond, they wouldn't say anything. Then they would, like, walk past me, or, like, they would purposely set things up to make me feel like I was crazy, or to make me feel like I was tripping, or to make me feel like I had to fix something. So, and because I was eating from their hand and so many other things, like, I opened up a door to me and I let them have access. So much was taking place that should not even have taken place, but it was witchcraft. And I didn't see the spiritual aspect of it, so I was trying to figure it out on a carnal level and fix it with my own hands, and I didn't look at it from a spiritual place. So I was constantly just losing. You get what I'm saying? Constantly causing more chaos, and that was coming into my household, within my relationship, and it was just, all hell was breaking loose. You get what I'm saying? And it was, looking back, I'm like, man, okay, won't get me twice. You won't get me twice, though. I promise you that. Thank you for sabotaging me. Okay? Thank you for being demonic. Thank you so much, because it has taught me a lot, and I applied the lesson. And one thing about it, two things for sure, I thank you that God uses my enemies as my footstool, and I'm sitting in a high place. Okay? So that was the first lesson I ever learned on like eating from somebody's hand, and it could affect you in a spiritual way because of witchcraft. I never knew that. And I'm not going to go too deep into witchcraft, because witchcraft isn't always somebody doing like an incantation or a ritual. It's not always that. It can be as easy as a word curse. Like, oh, you're not wife material. You don't look like a wife. It can be that simple. Witchcraft. You get what I'm saying? And if it's attached to a insecurity because that person is looking at somebody else in that way, and they say that to you and then you internalize it, witchcraft. You get what I'm saying? So witchcraft, it goes deep to where people can be cutting chicken heads off and doing all that and drinking blood and just acting outrageous. But it can get there. And it can also be as simple as a word, as simple as manipulation, when you know the doorways and entryways to that man. So you go ahead and sprinkle and do whatever you need to do to get him in, to get him bound, not knowing that you're taking him from something that will catapult him higher for your own selfish gain. It can be as simple as you see this woman emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually is not mature enough to peep game, and you manipulate her and speak word curses over her and keep her bound for your own selfish desires, which crabs. Like, it is not just cutting chicken heads off. So me thinking of that and just going through life and reflecting on things, I was just talking to God, and I came across, and I kept thinking, like, it got dropped in my spirit about food and Jesus. And so I kept thinking, like, as I read the Bible and I'm going through certain things in life and I'm asking God questions, I'm like, yo, where in the Bible did Jesus ever eat with the people he was feeding? I'm like, hold on now. I'm learning about breaking bread with people, and that when you break bread with people, you're making a covenant with them. So you shouldn't just be going out to eat with your homegirls, and especially if you know that they don't like you. Especially if you know it's just going to be gossip, slander. Especially when it pertains to things that do not correlate to your elevation. You're going out to break bread with these people and form a covenant with gossip, with stagnancy, like with jealousy. You get what I'm saying? So you're not just supposed to be breaking bread with people and eating with them and sitting down at the table. When you see successful people, and I'm not saying monetary success, when you really look at a successful person's life, they're not sitting down to eating with everybody. They're not at everybody's house. They're not breaking bread with everybody. Why? Because those are the people that you in agreement with. The Last Supper, those are people you in agreement with. So I was like, Lord, like, God, when did Jesus ever break bread in the Bible with other people? Like, when did he actually eat with the people that he was feeding? So I started reading, and I came across, like, you know, there's a story in the Bible, if you don't already know, because I'm not going to assume that everybody knows, because some stories I don't know, and I'd be like, wait, hold on, tell me more. I didn't know this. You get what I'm saying? First of all, and if you read John, as we about to go over, Jesus was talking to people any kind of way. I respect him for that. It motivates me. I don't gotta feel like I have to be politically correct. I don't feel like I gotta talk to you in a soft tone so you can get it. No, you tripping out and you playing, and you're not about to keep playing in my face, because God don't play like that when it comes to me, and you surely will die. So I pray that you repent. Okay? Either way, may God be with you. Love you the same. I'm out. Like, Jesus was talking to people crazy. I love it. There's a story in the Bible where Jesus feeds a multitude of people. I think it was like 5,000. I don't know the exact number, but he was fed a multitude of people. The disciples that he was with was like, how are we going to feed these people? Like, do we need to go in town and buy some food? Because, like, we don't got enough food to feed these people. So Jesus took some fish and some loaves, and he said, take this, go feed the people. It fed everybody out there. You get what I'm saying? It didn't look like it was enough from carnal sight, but it fed everybody out there. And when everybody got done eating, there was 12 baskets of food left. He had 12 disciples with him. So there was a basket for every disciple, but I noticed there was no food for Jesus. And when everybody ate, the disciples took their food and went on about their way, and Jesus went up to the mountain to eat the bread of life. He didn't eat the same food they was eating. He went up to the mountain to talk to God. He went up to the mountain to get fed spiritually while everybody else was eating on a physical plane. That was not the only reason why Jesus went up to that mountain. It wasn't just to eat the bread of life and to eat spiritually. It also was because he saw that because he allowed God to work through him and he did something divine, something miraculous, something major to where it provided for people, he knew they was going to idolize him. He knew that they was going to start looking at him like he was God. He knew that they were going to start to put titles and certain bounds on him that weren't supposed to be. So he was like, let me get up out of here because I'm not going to be there for these people. And I don't need them trying to follow me around or just be around me, trying to break bread with me just for what I can give to them because I'm not here for that. You get what I'm saying? I'm here to bring them to their source so that they can know what type of power lies within them so they can do the same for other people and also not allow it to take from source to where now they're other people's God. So Jesus did not believe in breaking bread with people who, first of all, weren't on the same accord as him. He knew some of these people like they was in their flesh. You get what I'm saying? He even knew somebody in his group was going to betray him later on. But it all played a part in his elevation. So even though he knew, he didn't trip about it. He played the silent game and he was smart in his strategy because he already knew what was going on because he was eating spiritual food. Right? So Jesus did not believe in breaking bread with people, coming into covenant and agreement with people who were operating on the lower plane. He didn't come down. He made them come up. That's why he was telling them, and I don't want to skip too far ahead. But it's like, okay, John 6:63 says, it is the spirit that is life-giving. The flesh is of no use at all. It goes on to say, but there are some of you who do not believe. For Jesus knew from the beginning those who did not believe and the one who would betray him. It goes on to say, he went on to say, this is why I have said to you, no one can come to me unless it is granted him by the Father. He was saying, I'm already peeping game. I already know what's going on because first of all, I'm seeking first the kingdom of heaven. I'm going to my source. I'm going to my creator. I'm seeking wisdom from him. I'm not going off of what everybody else got to say. I'm not taking advice from people who I don't even like the life they live in. And even if I like their life, I'm still going to question it twice because they not perfect. So I'm not going to idolize them just based upon them having money or them being here. Like, listen, I'm going to my spirit first. I'm going to honor my spirit first. So I'm already peeping game and knowing what's going on. That's why I speak to you the way that I speak to you. That's why I say the things that I say. That's why I stand on what I stand on. And I abide by the principle I abide by because I already peep what's going on. Because I'm not just looking from carnality or the physical plane. I'm heavily tapped into the spirit. That's what Jesus was saying. So he was telling them in a nutshell, like, yeah, you got 12 baskets of food, all that, this, that, and the third. Okay, but it's not just about the physical food that you eat. It's about the spiritual food that you eat. And if you are not feeding your spirit in the spiritual realm, you'll have all the food and all the money and all the things and all the cars, and you still would not be replenished, nor will you even see the enemies all around you. The very people you handing your car to. Okay, the very people you speaking life into. The very people you sacrificing for. The very people you won't even see the snakes around you. Because you're just being fed carnally through bread and outings and alcohol and weed and the lifestyle, but you're not even tapping into the spiritual. He then went on to say, this is why anybody who want to have access to me, they got to go through the Father to get to me. And if my Father, if my source and my creator, if my spirit tell me not to entertain you, to close the door to you, to have nothing to do with you, it's an absolute no. Because I'm tapped in spiritually. I don't care what history we got. I don't care if you know my family. I don't care if you've been with me through that time. I don't care about the things you're trying to hold over my head. I don't care if we have the best time together. If spiritually we do not align, it cannot be. So you're going to have to go speak to my Father. You're going to have to go to the spiritual realm in order to have access to me, because that's where I'm going. And if God say no access, it's no access. That's what Jesus was saying. He said, this is why I have said to you, no one can come to me unless it is granted him by the Father. I don't give a damn what you offering. I don't care about what you come with. I don't care about how much money you got, how much fame you got, how much status you got. I don't care about how fine you look. If spiritually you do not connect with me, if spiritually we are not aligned and my Father has not foreordained that for me, have a great day, sir. You get what I'm saying? Have a great day, ma'am. It was fun while it lasted, but your spirit don't align, and I got bigger things to do. And if you go to my Father, if you go to the spiritual realm and seek the Most High about me, baby, your life will elevate as well. So stop thinking it's so hard to have to come up higher and do something different, because I promise you your whole life will change, and you'll actually be fulfilled and satisfied, baby, in overflow. That's what he was saying. It then went on to say, and this is why you cannot care about who walk away from you. This is why you cannot care about having a big circle. This is why you can't, you can be hurt. You can care. You can. You can make that active decision and choice to do so. But it does not benefit you. It goes on to say, because of this, because of what he said, because he stood on principle, because he's standing in the spirit, okay, because he's not looking at things from carnality and he can't be easily swayed or moved by worldly things. It says, because of this, many of his disciples went off to the things behind and would not walk with him. Because of this, many of his disciples, many of his friends, many of the people that said they was rocking with him, many of the people that was with him when he had money and when he had it going on, many of the people that was in her face when she was in a high rise, many of the people went off to the things behind and would no longer walk with him. They walked away. They removed themselves because they would no longer benefit in the way that they wanted. They were operating from selfishness, not from divinity. So Jesus said to the 12, the people that he chose to be in his circle, the people that he's committed to, the people that he said, hey, yo, despite your shortcomings, I choose you. The 12, he said, you do not want to go also, do you? You about to be like everybody else I left? Or what? What's going on? So Simon Peter answered him, Lord, whom shall we go away to? You have sayings of everlasting life. Anybody that we go entertain outside of you, we're not going to be fulfilled by. We're not going to get half as much as we're going to get being here with you, even though times get difficult, even though we have to go through things, even though we have to come up higher, even though we have to deny our flesh, even though we have to become a new person. We already know, yeah, it might be easier over there. It might be easier with them friends. It might be easier in that relationship. It might look better on the outside, but I won't be fulfilled, nor will I even be in my purpose. It'll be taken away from me because I'm operating with selfish people. It goes on to say, we have believed and have come to know that you are the Holy One of God. Jesus answered them. We know, listen, the people that have walked out your life, the people who have had to leave you, they will get revelation as to who you were. They will see fully and clearly what they missed out on. They will see what it is that it requires for them to have access to you if God is granting them re-access, re-entry. They will know. So stop equating your value to who walked away. Stop equating your value to what didn't work out. Stop equating your value to that because it had nothing to do with you and everything to do with them. And what they were mesmerized by and blinded by and caught up in spiritually and physically. The spiritual part is the most important play, because when I was eating food and getting caught up in witchcraft and not knowing why I was operating the way I was operating, hurting the people that love me and also sabotaging myself, I ain't see what was going on because I was looking from the carnal. I didn't understand what everybody was telling me. And I was trying to fix things and put them in their proper positions, and that was making it worse when I thought I was doing the right thing in the best way possible. And then when I was trying to let people in on that space, they weren't seeing on the spiritual plane. They were seeing on the physical plane from their own feelings and things. So that was making it worse too, because these are people I'm going to for help because I didn't know what to do. But if I was looking from the spiritual, I would have handled that completely different. So a lot of these people, a lot of these situations, they could not see spiritually. And sometimes it takes people walking away and things happening, them losing things, for them to get to the place to say, dang, let me shift my perspective and my sight. Let me seek it spiritually so that I can see and be released and have the courage to say, let me do something else because this is not it. I don't care how far it's gotten. It's not for me. Let me walk away. Let me do something else. Now I see what part I played. Let me apply the lesson because it's a blessing and now I'm made new. So it says, Jesus answered them, I chose you 12, did I not? Yet one of you is a slanderer. He was in fact speaking of Judas, the son of Simon. I don't know what that word is carry it, I don't know. For this one was going to betray him, although he was one of the 12. So even though Jesus had these 12 people he chose and he was riding for and he was teaching and he was pouring into, he already knew that one of them in that group, one of them in that circle was going to betray him. But it was all a part of the plan. So he played the silent game because he was peeping what was going on. Listen, the notes that I wrote from doing that Bible study earlier, it says, the people who were not willing to change in order to have access removed themselves. The people that walked away from you, they removed themselves. The people that may try to come up and attach themselves to your blessing, the people that may try to return and not have the right intentions, those people, even the new people that you will meet who are disguising themselves, they will remove themselves. But the only way that they will remove themselves is if you stand on principle. If you stand on your boundaries, if you stand on the standard, if you go to the spiritual realm and seek your source, seek the Most High and inquire about it and be obedient to the instruction He gives, they will remove themselves because they see, I cannot gain from this. I'm operating from selfishness. So because their selfish desires are not being met, they will remove themselves. They will expose themselves. But if you being a people pleaser, or if you let people hold things over your head that's not you anymore, then you will start to succumb to what they want. And if you never say no or hold them accountable, they have in their way and you think you have in yours, and you're absolutely not. But the moment that you stand on principles and boundaries, and like someone very special to me taught me, if you stand in love, not fall in it, you can still care for people and stand on principle and boundaries, not just be used and abused and accepting anything for the sake of you loving somebody. You can walk away from somebody and love them. You can check somebody and love them. You can hold somebody accountable and love them. You can stand on your standards and love them. You can say no and love them. You can stand up for what you know is right and love them. In John 6:66, before you get scared because it says 666, y'all, 666 in Strong's Concordance means a covering, a bandage. Stop taking on fear from the world because they're trying to scare you and make you step outside of your power. Do you not have more power and authority than demonic forces, than low vibrating spirits? Do you not have more power and authority than them? Do you not come from the Most High? The Most High? There's nothing higher. If that's where you come from and that's who you're connected to, then what are you scared for? John 6:66. When I spoke on they walked away, the note that I wrote, what came to me in my spirit was, God is covering you. Refrain, which means stop, which means stop yourself, which means I know it hurt your feelings, but do not continue harming yourself, trying to get someone to stay. Let them remove themselves. It is for a divine purpose. And the more that you embrace solitude and the stillness that you are faced with when they leave, you will start to regain parts of yourself that were suppressed because you were people pleasing and trying to force people to choose you and to see you, but they were too busy looking at something else. You're causing yourself more harm than you are good. You're causing yourself, it's detrimental to your spirit. And you think you're being benefited because on the front end, it's feeding you. But on the back end, it is planting in you. There have been plenty of situations in my life, especially this one relationship I had where I was in for 4 years. And I was connected to a man that was in covenant with somebody else. So there was no way he could ever give me what it is that I desired. And I thought I was benefiting on the front end because it's like, oh, this is just fun right now, this, that, and third. And if y'all want a story about that, or if you judging me already because it's like, oh my gosh, then move on about your way. Bust a move. Okay? You don't know the full story. God say don't judge before it's time, before you get to judging people because of your own feelings. Bust a move. But if you would like a further testimony on that story and how I got in that relationship, how I got out, how I started praying for their marriage and that completely changed me, let me know. I'll share testimony. But I was in a relationship with somebody who was in a covenant with somebody else. I was insecure at the time. And I was like, okay, well, I'll be whatever it is I need to be so that I can keep this because it was benefiting me, and I just didn't want to be alone. I didn't want to be by myself, and that was the first time where I found somebody where I felt like that was my person. This was prior to me ever finding out that he was in covenant with somebody, and we were having fun and living our best life, and it was like, oh my gosh, I finally feel like I found my person, but something in my spirit didn't feel right. So I investigated like we do. Oh, that intuition don't be lying to you. Stop ignoring it. It's a superpower. Even from that phone being unlocked. Okay? That be God. Do not mistake it or make yourself feel crazy. Doesn't mean you got to keep going through the phone, babe. You already seen what you need to see. So, that be God. So I followed my intuition, honored my spirit, and I found out he was married. And I was like, wait, what? It crushed me. But I was already so deep in it. You get what I'm saying? And then when I had the conversation with him, he basically was like, we have an agreement, yada, yada, yada. I never talked to this woman. Should have reached out to her and talked to her. But I was like, you know what? If that's their agreement and that's what it is, and it seems like it's no issues because I'd never seen her blowing up the phone, nothing like that. When she answered, he called. When he out, she was first priority. Food, all that. I was the extra. You get what I'm saying? She was very much taken care of. Any other woman that was coming in knew their place. So, including me. So, I was like, I will be whatever it is I need to be so that she's not disrespected if this is her agreement, because it's not disrespect if y'all agree to this. You get what I'm saying? It's not disrespect if this is y'all agreement. It's disrespect if I cause drama. So I said, I'm going to be whatever I need to be in order to abide by this and still keep what it is I want, this dream, this fairy tale in my mind. Okay? And respect her. I didn't know me doing that was going to crush me. Was going to leave me with insecurity. And first of all, this was not the start of it. That started in my childhood for me watching a broken marriage growing up. It started in my childhood for me being violated. It started in my childhood for me being rejected because I was different, and people kept telling me that what I was dreaming for and what I was working towards was not possible. They tried it already, and people kept rejecting on me. So I was already operating from rejection and abandonment issues. Okay? But because I didn't see that and I didn't address that and I didn't heal from that, I kept being in situations that fed that abandonment and that rejection spirit. Those demons. I had a legion of demons in me. In my last relationship that I just recently got out of, I had a legion of demons operating through me that I did not see. He had a legion of demons operating through him that he wasn't even aware of. And we were swapping them back and forth through insecurity and drama and trauma and things that we did not heal. Okay? So on the front end, we having fun. I'm abiding by this agreement. I'm benefiting from this in some type of way. But on the back end, there are seeds of insecurity being planted in me. Rejection is being fed. Abandonment is being fed. Because, baby, when I invited God in that situation, when I started praying for that woman, when I started praying for that man, when I started praying for myself, when I started praying for their marriage, when I started to say, God, I don't even know how I'm in this. This is not even me. God, I don't even know why I'm operating this way. Please help me. Lord, yes, I feel insecure. I don't want to be alone. But Lord, I also don't want to be in something that don't represent you. Lord, I'm better than this. Father God, you get what I'm saying? Everything started to change. And baby, that man, after 4 years, went a whole week without speaking to me, and I had to cry and be depressed and on the floor and praying and fasting to get up and change and be different. And I prayed for God to send me somebody with the qualities that he had, because he was a great man, just in a bad season in his life and didn't take the right route. But what the enemy intends for evil, God intended for good. So that man went back to God, started fasting with me, stopped drinking, became a better man at home. You get what I'm saying? God is good. So it's like, he was a great man. He was just coping incorrectly from what he signed up for and didn't know that he came with all that. Okay? Come on. That's his story. Not gonna tell it. But, y'all, when I invited God in that space, it brought me to a whole nother place in my life. And I prayed for a man who had his qualities, but that was available to me. And I got that. But because I did not heal first, because I did not honor myself the entire way through it, because I didn't honor God the whole way through, because I was so happy to just have somebody, but I was also confused because I was like, I don't really know if this is the person, because these flags are showing up and he's challenging me here, and I'm scared to communicate because I came from a violent household. You know, there was love in there, but there was no emotional maturity, so the police was at the door. You get what I'm saying? On multiple occasions, not just in the relationship, even amongst the other parties. Like, went down in that house. So I was like, yo, I don't know how to communicate, and I'm scared to communicate because I do not know what that equals. So I was running from communication, sabotaging myself, and I did not have a sister circle or people I could go to and get sound advice from. It was always just, well, you just need to go ahead and leave, this, that, and the third. I don't know. Like, I wasn't getting sound advice, and I wasn't taking it up spiritually. So I was running myself raggedy, sabotaging myself, and not sure of how to operate in the situation. On top of other things were at play because there was a legion of demons operating. So there was manipulation and stuff coming from the other side that I didn't even see at the beginning. You get what I'm saying? So these insecurities were showing up in my relationship. Rejection and abandonment and suppression. Sabotage was showing up, and I didn't even know, even though I was benefiting in the front end of that last relationship, seeds were getting planted in me in the back end that came up in me and what I prayed to God for. So if God removes somebody from your life, let the stillness and the solitude bring healing to you so that those seeds that were planted through whatever you were in, through whatever trauma you experienced, can be uprooted. So you will not bring those seeds into your new place, your new relationship. You won't bring those seeds in that. And you'll be able to operate from restoration. You'll be able to operate from a renewed place. You'll be able to operate from your highest level and not a low one. And you will not connect with people that have a legion of demons working in them too. So keep both of y'all sabotaging each other. So keep both of y'all in rejection and suppression. So keep both of y'all operating from abandonment. So keep both of y'all from operating operating in slothfulness. Like, you have to understand, like, the person that I was connected to, oh my gosh, a mighty man of valor. So much purpose and so much in his life that will come to pass, regardless if I'm in his life or not. That will come to pass. And the enemy was wreaking havoc to attack the both of us because we both got purpose. And a lot of the times, the enemy is going to operate that low vibrating spirit that comes through sabotage, rejection, abandonment, anger, strife, lust, addiction. Is going to show up and completely destroy relationships because that is where purpose can be procreated. Your legacy can be passed on. Principalities can break. So of course I can't let this divine union just be. That's why monitoring spirits and third party energy be around lingering when they don't even really want you. They just want the benefits of you, but they don't want the responsibility. They just want the benefits of you, but they can't even pour into you in the way that you really need. They just want the benefits of you. And if it wasn't just about the benefits, then where was they at when there was none? And I'm not saying that you should be in something that does not benefit you. I'm saying that does not benefit you. I'm saying when it pertains to a material aspect. Because God may partner you up with somebody that don't have the finances right now. But one thing about it, they got the passion, they got the purpose, they got the drive, and they are willing. So it's like, okay, babe, you can go sell some fruit. Come on out. You can sell it. Yeah, what do you need? I'm finding freaking coolers in the hallway. Like, let's do it. You'll get to the place where the money comes. Not tripping about that. Card decline. I'm cool. I'm fine. You have to look at everything that played a part. You have to look at everything that is currently around you. Because some people, they have their handout. Yeah, but they don't have their handout to give you nothing in return. So John 6:66. God's going to cover you. Every wound, every scar, every scratch that you receive from being hurt, God's going to cover you. God's going to heal you. So let people remove themselves accordingly because it's necessary for your healing. It's necessary for your growth. It's necessary. The last thing that I wrote down is John 6:67 through 71, which was the ending of what I read, which I'll just read again to refresh your mind because we've talked about it a lot. This is John 6. Where you at? Where you at, John? John 6:67 through 71. So Jesus said to the 12, "You do not want to go also, do you?" Simon Peter answered him, "Lord, whom shall we go away to? You have sayings of everlasting life. We have believed and have come to know that you are the Holy One of God." Jesus answered them, "I chose you 12, did I not? Yet one of you is a slanderer." He was in fact speaking of Judas, the son of Simon, Iscariot, for this one was going to betray him, although he was one of the 12. What I wrote was, the ones who are for you, know the truth and will remain in position regardless of the circumstances. And even the ones who don't have pure intentions play a part in your elevation. So apply the blessing from the lesson when it pertains to everything that has hurt you, when it pertains to everything that has manipulated you, when it pertains to everything that has tried to use you, abuse you out of the sake of selfishness and their own gain. Everything plays a part in your elevation. So don't grow weary. Do not accept depression. Do not stay angry. Forgive them people. Let go of shame and regret because of what you did not know, what you were not aware of at that time. Hold yourself accountable for what you could have done better and apply the blessing from the lesson because it makes you a better person. And you will not have to do the same thing over again. You can actually shut the door and be good and know that, hey, it's still love, but you will not have access to me because I've always kept the doors open. And because I kept the door open, when you keep the doors open to people and you don't really cut them off, they don't have to come out of selfishness. They don't got to come out of pride. They don't have to become a better person because the door's still open. They can call your phone whenever they want to call your phone to come tend to whatever they need. They don't have to actually change for nothing. And they know that there's a part of you that kept the door open for a reason because you desire them. So of course, there's no reason for them to have to change in any type of way. And they already know whenever they call, whatever they ask for, you gonna give it to them because they know what you want from them. They know that you care for them. So people will use that, manipulate you, and play off that. Especially if you're falling in it and not standing in it, regardless of how you feel or if you want that thing too. So stand on principle and divine law. The only way you're going to know what principle and divine law is getting into it and not letting the KKK or what came before us to cause us to be in our own demise take you from it. This is what you make it. It's a continuation of what God has already always said from the beginning of time. It's a continuation of what God says through many self-help books, through what God says through many sermons, through many people, even homeless people on the street. It's a continuation of it. It's a continuation of what he downloads to you before you even ever read this book. It's a continuation. But you need to get into principle and get the thoughts of God to see how he thinks so that you can apply it. I didn't say go out and take on a teaching from somebody just because they call themselves a pastor or a preacher or just because they got credentials. I didn't say go out and take on a teaching just because somebody got money or just because they fine or just because they in a place you want to be in. I said go read it for yourself. Try it for yourself. Apply the knowledge for yourself. Have critical thinking skills and operate from power, love, and a sound mind, which God tells you that he gave you in here. So not from fear, not from overthinking, not from idolatry to where you willing to follow anybody straight into the pits of hell, straight into destruction, straight into all this stuff that don't serve you just because of their title or the church they operate in or the house that they have or the cars that they have, because we're so quick to misinterpret church. You are the church. God says that in here if you get into it and you don't let offense take you from it or color take you from it. Baby, they want you to be mad at the name of Jesus. They want you to only look at Jesus and not go to the original translation that says Yeshua. They want you to be mad at who denied you from the church because you'll never get into truth. And you'll never apply it to your life. And you won't go out and look for it in other ways and bring it back to the foundation. They want you to be mad, baby, so that you won't connect to your spirit for real. They want you to be docile and dependent so that you'll never go get the truth for yourself. So that you'll just sit all day taking it in, but you see no change in your life. They want you to be that way. Take out all the offense, all of that, and go seek it for yourself and apply it to yourself. Hug a tree or something. Go outside and speak to the Most High. Apply this word because God gave you power, love, and a sound mind. Everything that you need to know, especially about wisdom, please read Proverbs because it'll tell you the fools that you arguing with, why you arguing with them, they're fools. They can't even see themselves and you arguing. You're going to learn a lot from this. So go back to it outside of offense. Okay? And actually seek the spirit of the Most High. You are the church before you ever enter into a building. That's why God calls you to consecrate yourself. That's why God calls you to eat a certain type of way. That's why people who be saying, hey, yo, you probably shouldn't be eating pork. They're not trying to come for you because you like maple bacon. Maple bacon tastes really good. I used to eat bacon. That's how I know it tastes good. But there came a time in my life where I said, I cannot be eating swine. I cannot be eating from a low level being. I cannot be eating from a low level thing, because that's what I am feeding my spirit. My spirit has to dwell in my church, in my temple. So if I'm feeding myself swine, if I'm eating sugar, which is just another form of crack, then in large increments, then I am disrespecting my temple, and now my spirit is discombobulated. You are the church before it's ever external. So you have to consecrate yourself, and you have to pour into yourself and make sure your interior looks good. Don't just throw anything on your body and walk out the door in your day. People are not just coming for the bonnet on your head and saying you can't wear a bonnet. They're saying, baby, do you not know who you are? Why are you walking outside operating from a low level? At least put you in a silk scarf and wrap your head up like Erykah Badu. Like they used to do back in the day when people told them, we don't like your hair, you need to cover it up. Well, really, they were jealous because they seen their power. They're not just coming for your bonnet. They're not just coming for you for having your whole entire ass out in Walmart in front of people's kids. This is not the club, baby. They're not just coming for you. They're saying, do you not know who you are? Do you not know what operates out here? Do you not know what's dwelling in this atmosphere? Perversion been running rampant. That's why every man that's ever been in your life has been able to touch you, and without your permission. So you have to be extremely intentional about how you consecrate your church. And you can still be sexy. You can still be fine. You can still be beautiful and not even show an ounce of your skin, babe. That's what they saying. They're not coming for you. But if you operate from the spirit of offense because you have felt suppressed, like many of us have in our life, because people always try to tell us who we were supposed to be and how we were supposed to do it, then of course you're going to take offense to it. And excuse my French. Okay, because I know I cussed earlier. And I also know that there's a lot of cuss words like the F-bomb and things that have demons attached to them. It's a doorway for a demon to come in. That's why God says, watch the words that you speak. Do your research on them and not just get on people about saying ASS or FUCK. You need to be getting on people that's also saying, I'm having a bad day. Okay? Because all of it is you casting something over your life. You calling something to your life. So you need to be intentional about it. So right now, Father God, repents for using that word, because I know that it can open up a doorway for my own detriment, and I gave it legal right. So right now, I repent for that in the mighty name of Jesus Christ, and I shut the door to it. It's that simple. And try harder next time. But sometimes I be needing to put a little, okay, because y'all be playing games. Anyways, that is Bible study for the day. And as always, I pray that you are leaving this video way better than you came. And my prayer for you is that you will continuously see God's hand all throughout your day, because you're in the present moment and you have finally found a pocket of stillness for you to breathe and see that everything, all the adversity and the circumstances are not bigger than you. God gave you power, love, and a sound mind, babe. Not fear, insecurity, and overthinking. Okay? Whatever it is, it's not bigger than you. Whatever it is, it cannot take you out. Go read Psalms 9, sing it, declare and decree it over your life. Go read Psalms 91, sing it, declare and decree it over your life. Go read Psalms 118, sing it, declare and decree it over your life. And express gratitude and praises for what is coming into your life, because it's here, is waiting on you. But you have to consecrate yourself to be prepared for it, so that you don't bring in the negative seeds that will then grow into trees in your new situation when God called you to eat fruit there. Okay, I will see you next video. Also, be on the lookout for my podcast episode that is dropping very soon. So turn on your post notifications so that you can be notified when that drops, which will be later on today or tomorrow. Okay, I've been dealing with my voice on top of other things. So patience is a fruit of the spirit, and I expect for you to operate from it when it pertains to being attached to me. Okay, that's what it requires to have access to me. So if you lack patience, babe, this is not the place for you. Please go heal and come back different. All right, sending you nothing but love, and I'm speaking nothing but life over you, and I pray to see you next video. And lastly, but certainly not least, if you are in a reoccurring toxic cycle in your life and you need help breaking free of that stronghold in that principality, I have a course called How to Break the Cycle of Unequally Yoked Relationships. It takes you through every single step of transition in your life before you get to your answer prayer, and it also teaches you about how to stand in your answer prayer and not sabotage it, because you'll see ups and you'll see downs even when you get the answer to your prayer and the breakthrough. It's going to teach you about separation, isolation, transition, restoration, all of that and in between, and it's going to show you how to set boundaries and stand on them without compromising to people please, because that's what keeps us suppressed the most. So if that is something you are interested in, or something that somebody else is interested in that you know, go ahead and get a copy of it and get to work, because baby, this life is beautiful. Every season of it, every ebb and flow. So please do not stay in yesterday because you're unsure of what you are bound by, and because you think that you have to stay in that place. You absolutely do not. The power is within you, and it's by the Spirit of the Most High that things shift and happen. So please do not stray away from connecting with Source, because I promise you, nothing and nobody shall stand against you, because God goes before you, and I need you to know your power and who you're backed by. See you later.